Thank you so much, guys, for listening to Lucas-san's story. Brazilian, studied in Europe, moved to Japan, learned Japanese on the job, and now moved to China. Good. I know what I want to ask. So you said 50% at this point profession, 50% personal. The more you got closer to staying in Japan, staying in this job, having the wife, how do you see now happiness? What are the dimensions of happiness for you and purpose?
If you look at pictures of me at that time, I looked terrible.
Okay.
I was in shambles. But no, I can't give up. I decided to brave through it. And as you mentioned, work is not everything. One thing that I want to achieve in life is to have my own family. I want to have children. I want to see them grow. I want to give them the best that I have achieved in my life so that they can use it as leverage to hopefully achieve something even better.
Right.
Yeah? Whatever better means
Right.
to
For
them.
them.
This was always in the back of my mind. So now I would say that the professional side of my life more or less on track, at least on the tracks that I wanted it to be. So my purpose is moving little by little towards
Yes.
this family life that I'm trying to build from
Right.
now on.
And also, we were discussing earlier that while we talk now, it feels like there are very strong ideas surviving and keeping you on the right track. However, there's also a lot of perceptions that change, right? For example, being so ambitious, going like crazy for something, or doing too much, feeling not enough. Let's reflect a bit about this. Like, when did you
Yeah,
start
so
understanding
good.
that actually you don't need to do all of this to feel enough?
So yeah, I do think that being in that job in Japan pushed me beyond my limits. So I learned where my limit was
Okay.
for the first time. Maybe I started with the PhD and then at work, I think I learned where my limit was. And I think it's a very important thing. I think all of us at some point we need to be pushed to that limit. We need to exceed that limit and so that we can understand what we
Where
can
it is.
so what
And
you
to have
can
a
build
scale.
and have a scale and then manage yourself in a smarter way, definitely. So there was a time, I think up until that time, I was really on a rush, terribly on a rush. I was trying to do what other people were doing in 3 years. I was trying to achieve it in 1 year. So partly because I was
Why?
also trying to get rid of that job. I was trying to bridge that gap between me and the
Right.
job that I wanted faster. It's interesting because actually it made me, at the end of my life in Japan, I think I had really achieved a lot. I had got my own clients. I got a project with the World Bank, and that was kind of all by myself.
Yeah.
There was a team behind me, but it was my initiative. I coordinated everybody, and then that was the first World Bank project that my company got. And that's because of that feeling of, no, I gotta do it and I gotta do it fast. I gotta do
Right.
it fast. But no, nobody can do this forever. So
But also, yeah, Lucas, you talk a lot about pride. So I want to understand a bit throughout all this process, how much was your own desire and how much was it desire to prove yourself and the need for validation? And
no,
how
there
did
was
it
a lot
change
of
in
it.
time?
Yeah, I think now I'm a little bit more chilled, but because yeah, so the whole situation working in Japan, as I said, crushed my confidence so much. It made me feel so small at times. Because if you can understand the instructions, you can read in between the lines, you can see what's happening around you. You are always behind everybody else. It made me feel stupid. It hurt my
Because
pride.
you couldn't fulfill external standards.
Well, you could say they were external, but for me they felt very internal.
Okay.
It's not like I wanted people to compliment me. I wanted to compliment myself, I guess, because throughout my whole career it was like that. No, I had that feeling of satisfaction in having good marks in an exam or coming first in a competition or something, and I was used to that. And I think I was definitely not used to not being among
Okay.
the high performers.
How do you feel about that now? Do you still think it's something that you need, or
No,
are you more comfortable with not
I think it's
necessarily
a very
getting that
important thing,
validation?
and I keep thinking about it. Like when it comes, for example, when the time comes for me to educate my children, I think I would do the same because that's the energy, that's the force that pushes you towards achievement. And when you're young, we all need to prove ourselves. We all need to build the foundations of our material life, our financial life, and all of that. So you are going to need to achieve things. But then a time should come that you build that foundation and now you can chill a little bit. So after I came to my current job, our job, and then I started to chill a little bit. And it doesn't mean that I'm not trying to achieve things, but I'm being smarter about it. Because now I have a better feeling, a better understanding of what is the effort that yields results and what is the efforts that don't. Now I'm more focused. I put my energy in strategically selected endeavors. Then it allows me to have a better life balance, I think.
If you went back in time, is there any point in life that you would advise yourself against doing something or changing something in your approach? Tell yourself, chill out.
You don't have to do this or you don't have to do
Yeah.
that. So back in the university, I think that's when I had a lot of energy, and then I was doing a lot of things that finally didn't connect too much to where I'm coming now. So if I had been more focused back then, maybe I would have achieved things earlier, and it would have been less stressful. Basically, I would sign up for everything that came up, all possible seminars, extra activities, club activities, and
Okay.
all of this.
Why were
And
you
it was
doing
fun.
this? Why were you doing this? Were you doing this because you wanted that validation that came from performing well, or because you were interested and curious?
Because I believe that building a longer curriculum would open doors. And that is not necessarily true. So that
Yes.
is where the thing that lesson learned comes in. Your curriculum doesn't need to be long. I believe it needs to be somehow consistent. You need to show that you have at least an abstract guiding a north star in your career. That's what matters more than having a very long and disconnected.
But do you think anything of experiencing that much at a young age also helped you clarify what's
It
better for
did,
you?
it did. But then, like when I reflect, how should I guide my children when I have children? So I would try to tell them whenever they come home and, Daddy, I want to do this, I want to do that, and I think I would like to ask them why more than my parents ask me why.
Right. Okay. Interesting. Did you always ask yourself why when you're younger?
No, now
Okay.
I do.
Right.
So I can give an example about now. I've always been very passionate about languages. I told you that
Yeah.
anecdote about not understanding the movie in English. And now I'm living in China and I really want to learn Chinese. Deep inside, I really want to learn
Yeah.
Chinese. But I'm
But
not,
yes.
but I decided not to because I understand it's a huge undertaking in terms of time and effort. And I just realized it's not the priority for today.
And
Today,
also,
my priority is to learn my new job, my new
right,
position, and
right,
be good at it, be
right.
confident with it. And then when I'm done with this, and then I'll learn Chinese because that will be a hobby.
So asking yourself the question why helps you understand where to put more value
Where to put
on
your
your
energy.
time and how to
Yeah.
invest that time. It happened in the same way for me too with learning Chinese. Okay, I think we've talked a lot about a lot of stuff. I still don't think I extracted all the wisdom and all the conversations we had. We still kept it at very high level, but maybe some other time because now
Okay.
we also have a
We have
flight
a
to
flight
catch.
to catch.
Yeah, I already think that there are gonna be many people who will be super interested in learning more about your journey. Maybe some more about how you're working in development in close relationship with JICA in Africa. If they have questions, I hope that I can come back to you and
All right.
ask them, and maybe we record another video. Thank you so much, Lucas, for your time today.
Thank you, Bianca. It's my pleasure to be here. Very honored.
And we continue our conversation in our flight. See you guys next time.